that someone will be there for the rest of her life. No pressure. So I asked Bree to tell me about when she started to fall for you, Jean-Luc. And she shared a lot of things with me. But you know, she never really answered the question. She told me about bubble tea. She told me about aliases like Kingston Casanova and Brian Tamor. She told me about you helping her and her mom to move when you were just a few months into your relationship. She told me all kinds of ways that your natural charm just wooed her. It seemed really clear that she loved you right from the start, Jean-Luc. They met while in university in 2010, and today's celebration is the product of a blind date. They were to meet for bubble tea on a double date booked with their friends who had set them up. But Jean-Luc looked Bree up on Facebook, and then he messaged her a story about being a child and getting a plastic donut stuck on his foot. She told me that he said, "The plastic donut was attached to my foot and my father had to saw it off. But luckily, just the plastic donut came off and not my foot, and I still have 2 feet to this day." Now, with this kind of banter paving the way for their meeting, Bree was quite nervous to meet you. "I was nervous," she said. "I couldn't eat my salad before dinner." And even though it was almost 10 years ago now, she continued, "I still remember my housemate painting my nails blue to prep for the date. And he arrived 30 minutes early in true military fashion, so Georgina and I had to leave early for the date to meet him and his friend. But when I met him, all my nerves went away, and we chatted like we had known each other forever." I asked the same question of Jean-Luc, and he said, "My love for her was great at the beginning, but it grew over time as we went through a myriad of adventures and challenges ourselves. So you could say it was, oh, I'm in love at first sight, but then it was, I'm really in love, and I'm hooked." He shared with me a story about a large and expensive cappuccino that he ordered on your second date. "Little did I know," he wrote, "that she kind of resented buying such a big and expensive beverage for a date being on a student's budget." Because the next few days involved buying groceries and cooking meals at her place, which definitely led us to enjoy cooking together. And sharing these everyday, humbling experiences together is what I really enjoyed, and when I really got hooked. He went on, telling me that the biggest selling point to this relationship is that Bree is incredibly motivated to get things done. And she goes from planning trips around the world, which she does most of the labor for each time. I'm basically the John Lennon to her Paul McCartney in a lot of our adventures, and I wouldn't have it any other way. When I asked them to tell me about how they knew that they had found the one in each other, Jean-Luc said, "It's hard for me to pinpoint an exact time when I was like, yes, she was the one I want to be with for the rest of my life." But to be fair, coming down to Winnipeg is an arduous journey for most people. And if someone is willing to go there not once, but twice, well, that shows some significant commitment. Bree is pretty, and smart, and certainly capable of making things happen. But her planning of our European cruising adventure was something that really sold me on her being the one. I just wanted to travel again. But as for Bree, she told me Jean-Luc and I had such a witty banter going back and forth when we were away from each other, which was often because of the 5.5 years that you spent in Winnipeg and Ottawa. One time, he wrote to me as a member of the Bree Lovers Anonymous Association. He described how members feel withdrawal after not being around Bree for a time. They know that to make their marriage work will take patience and understanding. Jean-Luc said understanding will be important if one partner can become mean or spiteful for a time, remembering that there are always things that lead to that beforehand, and it's never the thing in front of you. And Bree said that it's important that they care for each other and that they continue to enjoy one another's company. And they both agree that successful marriages require that you put the other person ahead of yourself. I had to ask them to share with me how it is that they keep their spark going, though, because they've been together for over 9 years, and they have spent more than half of that in a long-distance relationship. And Bree said, I think spending time together one-on-one is important to keep the spark going, and making time to listen to each other's day. He always gives me support if I'm going through a difficult week. And she continued, I also love when he plans spontaneous things for us to do. When I asked Jean-Luc this question, he said, honestly, it's all about having random adventures, ideally with some degree of planning so that we don't end up in a panic. But these adventures keep us learning and experiencing new things together. And given their history together, I had to ask them just one more thing. In all of their adventures together so far, what has been their favorite memory? And they had a lot to choose from, given all of their travel and their active hobbies, but Jean-Luc settled on this one. He said, one of the fondest memories of her and I was our wild bike ride in Winnipeg, in the Assiniboine Park, where you rented a four-wheeled, two-person pedal buggy. And Bree settled on this one. She said the day he moved into my Bowmanville place, because it had been almost 7.5 years of dating at that point. And I was really excited to finally be in the same city again after all the years of long distance and to live together. And my friends all said, finally? How did you two do long distance for so long? I knew he was the one, she said, though, so you just don't give up on that. And it was worth all the time that we were apart. Getting to know this couple, I discovered the truth of Kirsten White's words. She wrote, I didn't fall in love with you. I walked into love with you, with my eyes wide open, choosing to take every step along the way. I do believe in fate and destiny, but I also believe we are only fated to do the things that we would choose anyway. And I would choose you in 100 lifetimes, in 100 worlds. In any version of any reality, I would find you, and I would choose you. Ladies and gentlemen, what we have here are two people whose lives and values have grown beautifully together. They complement one another's strengths and weaknesses. They bring balance and fullness to each other's lives. They are best friends who want to love and support and encourage each other. And to me, this is the very definition of a perfect partnership. Part of the significance of the ceremony today is that it marks the beginning of a new chapter for Bree and Jean-Luc, a chapter called Happily Ever After. What's worth mentioning, I think, is that every new beginning is the ending of something else. This morning was the last time you woke up engaged. It was the last time that you talked about your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your fiancé. It's the last time you will sign your name Bree Taylor. You share a lot of history together, and there are lots of things that have meaning to them as individuals and as a couple. So they decided to create a small time capsule to reflect their lives up until this moment. So here you can see there is a lovely box. It contains a bottle of ice wine, and tucked inside are two letters, one for Bree and the other to Jean-Luc. Before this ceremony today, they took time to reflect on their life together so far. They shared on their pages memories, their hopes for their future, and how they feel about the commitment they are making to one another today. In short, what we have here are two love letters. And these items were gathered here because after all of their time together, they know that relationships have ups and downs. And so this is like an emergency first aid kit of the romance kind. When a difficult time in their marriage comes along, such as maybe a big fight, they can open this box and drink the wine, and together they can read their letters to be reminded of the depth of their love for one another. And now, to make this secure, I will ask you to close the box, tuck it in shut. And I'll now ask you each to promise to keep this closed so that it can assist you in case of a marital emergency. All right. So remember your promise that should your hope lessen or your faith in each other ever be shaken, and even if you're not seeing eye to eye at that very moment, may this box remind you of all the reasons that you chose this person as your partner. May you recall all the things that helped you to shape the life that you have created together. And may you never take your blessing of being together for granted.